Dublin Tech Week, Dublin Tech Summit and AI helping you with your banking. It's all coming up in episode 147 of the All Things Techie podcast.
Here's the show that loves to talk about gadgets and gizmos, from A-Logic to Yamaha, cameras to control panels. You get what I mean. We love talking all things techie. In fact, that's the name of the show. And here is your host, Justin Dawson.
Yes, indeedy. It's me, Justin Dawson. Welcome along to another episode of the All Things Techie podcast. This is episode 147 of the All Things Techie podcast. Available on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and wherever you get your podcasts. How are you doing? I hope you like my new different backgrounds that I'm using if you're watching on YouTube. And also available wherever you get your podcasts. But we always say, if you're listening to the audio podcast of All Things Techie, you're better off having a look as well at our YouTube videos. That's available on our official website, www.allthingstech.ie, and also on YouTube as well. You can find me across all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, at Sir Justin Dawson. You just search for my name there. And I hope you like the new hoodies. If you're looking up on YouTube, I got the All Things Techie podcast in purple and Sir Justin Dawson as well. Just have to brand myself, especially when the podcast and the website is doing so well. Now, Dublin Tech Week. Before we talk about Dublin Tech Week, we have a great interview with Michael Dowling, a Professor of Finance at Dublin City University and CEO and co-founder of Narative. And that's later on in the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Now, to all our Irish listeners and viewers, Dublin Tech Week is running from May the 22nd to the 29th, and it's bringing a citywide celebration of innovation, community and collaboration to a whole new level. At the very centre of the marquee event is the Dublin Tech Summit, which is actually celebrating its milestone 10th anniversary this May. Today we are going to break down exactly what you can expect to see and the fringe events that you cannot miss, the heavyweight speakers flying into town, and how this entire week is reshaping everything from AI to grassroots community education. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with the broader picture. Dublin Tech Week. First off, on Tuesday 26th of May at Woodkey venue, Smart Dublin and Dublin City Council are hosting an interactive event called Reimagining Cities Through Digital Twins. Have you ever wondered how the city planners could test massive decisions before actually implementing them? Through live demonstrations and real-world case studies, they will show how urban twins are optimizing mobility, transforming city planning, and building climate resilience. It's going to be a fascinating look at the data-driven future of our streets and public services. For those of you focused on business side of artificial intelligence or AI, you will want to take a look at AI Tour number 14. It's the 14th episode or 14th part, called the Dublin Executive Edition, happening on May the 25th at Trinity's Innovation Hub. The motto is less hype, more human intelligence, more business impact. This is not your typical massive conference stage. It is an intimate, curated gathering designed for founders, executives and investors. They are tackling the real questions. How does AI shape the way companies build trust? And what remains deeply human in a world shaped by automation? Interestingly, this event also acts as a bridge between Brazilian and European tech ecosystems, welcoming Brazilian deep tech startups into the local innovation scene. And in Dublin as well, that's fantastic. But innovation isn't just about software, it's about the minds building it. On Friday, May the 29th at ESB headquarters, there is an incredibly important event titled Inclusive Networks Powering Dublin. This session focuses on neurodivergent talent and AI-built businesses. This is the hard-nosed business case. Did you know that 28.5% of Ireland's existed founders in the 3 Comma Club, the $1 billion valuations, are neurodivergent? Hosted by Sean Fay, the Leo Dublin City Disability Ambassador, we will hear from innovators like Jack Churchill of Empowering Tech, who has helped bring massive assistive AI text recognition pens into Mountjoy Prison. Very interesting topic. We also hear from Charlene Coleman, whose startup EchoMind AI reduces the diagnostic admin of ADHD assessments by 90%, making it more supportive, accessible and affordable. Also taking place on May the 29th is Tech Found Her Summit 2026 at the iconic Round Room in the Mansion House. The theme this year is Reset, Reboot, Reimagine. This summit exists specifically to challenge the status quo and amplify unrepresented voices in tech, creating real opportunities for founders through connection, collaboration and investment. And speaking of championing women in the industry, we also want to shout out to organisations like Women in Technology and Science Ireland, or WITS. They are an independent, voluntary organisation doing a year-round work to connect and advocate for women in STEM, driving change to attract and retain female talent in the critical fields. Events like Tech Found Her Summit perfectly encapsulate this mission in action during Dublin Tech Week. Alright, let's pivot to the crown jewel of the week, the Dublin Tech Summit. Celebrating its 10th anniversary, this two-day conference is bringing together global leaders, high-growth startups and deep tech innovators to shape the future of technology, finance and mobility. The speaker lineup for the 2026 Dublin Tech Summit is an extensive list, and I will be there at the RDS in Dublin doing podcasts and doing reports live from the show floor. We're going to see heavy hitters from the world's most influential companies. Eric Mosley, the visionary founder and CEO of WorkHuman, will be taken to the stage. He has spent decades of pioneering a human-centric approach to work, transforming employee experience and recognition programs at a scale. We will also hear from John Willett, the co-founder and COO of Rogo, an AI platform purpose-built for finance. With a background in investment banking and a degree in machine learning from Princeton, he is overseeing enterprise deployment from Rogo's first international office. The summit also welcomes Bianca Zwart, Chief Strategy Officer at Bunk. She made history as the youngest Chief of Strategy in banking, and she leads a team of the core of the company's mission, ensuring every innovation delivers exceptional user experiences. Thomas Zimmerman, the CEO of FreeNow by Lyft, will also be there at the Dublin Tech Summit. He is driving conversations around sustainable urban mobility, having played a key role in FreeNow's transformation into Europe's leading mobility platform. And representing the creative industries, we have Paul Hurricane, the head of creative industries at Namir Capital Partners and former global head of music at TikTok, alongside Sigurd Arnason, the CEO of Overtune, an AI-powered platform demonstrating music creation. But that's just the tip of the iceberg of things that's going on at the Dublin Tech Summit. The summit will feature insights from Eileen O'Mara, the Chief Revenue Officer at Stripe, Almar Lothar, the publisher of the Wall Street Journal and CEO of Dow Jones, and Emma Redmond, the head of Ireland for OpenAI. I think it's really important to ground that all this high-level corporate innovation is what's happening in our local communities, while CEOs and investors discuss the future in the convention centres. Local initiatives are building the foundation for the next generation. A fantastic example of this is the Makerspace at Blanchardstown Library, an innovative project developed by Fingal Libraries and funded by Creative Ireland. This is an accessible community space fully equipped with laptops, 3D printers and vinyl cutters. It is explicitly designed to support STEM learning, providing workshops for schools, youth groups and the public. From the introductory laser cutting to sustainable sewing and 3D printed jewellery, it is a place like the Fingal Makerspace that sparked the initial curiosity in a young person and might one day end up keynoting at the Dublin Tech Summit. Dublin is the place to be this May, whether you're checking out the grassroots maker spaces in Fingal, attending the Tech Found Her Summit to support female innovators, diving into urban digital twins with Smart Dublin, or rubbing soldiers with leaderships of WorkHuman and Stripe in the 10th anniversary of the Dublin Tech Summit. There's quite literally something for everyone in the tech ecosystem. Make sure you grab your tickets and start planning your schedule. It's happening in less than a week's time. It's going to be an unforgettable week of power, progress, and purpose. This is the All Things Techie podcast online at www.allthingstech.ie, where you find this episode and over 140 other episodes of the All Things Techie podcast, available in audio format and also available in video format. www.allthingstech.ie. You can also find me across the social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn and more. Sir Justin Dawson at Sir Justin Dawson. Now, is artificial intelligence driving our future engineers away from careers in technology? That is the stark warning coming from Eben Upton, the founder of the British computer maker Raspberry Pi. In recent interview, Upton cautioned that society is highly inclined to overestimate what AI tools can actually achieve. Right now, the rapid rise of tools like ChatGPT and Claude has sparked fearful predictions of massive job losses, particularly for tech workers and recent graduates. Upton warns that buying into these claims could severely distort the career choices that people make. And you know what? I have to agree, listeners and viewers. If young people are put off from entering the tech industry, it would only make our current tech skills shortage worse. Upton notes that without steady supply of engineers, our broader economic growth will absolutely suffer. He fears that the moment of over-enthusiasm for AI could undo years of hard work by organisations trying to encourage people into computing careers. But wait, haven't tech giants like Amazon, Meta and Microsoft already blamed tens of thousands of recent layoffs on artificial intelligence? Well, actually, yes, they have. Like, we can only talk about last episode where we were talking about Meta doing a lot of job cuts. And they have. However, some experts suggest that AI might just be convenient scapegoat. Instead of being completely replaced by bots, these companies are likely just reducing their headcount after going on massive hiring sprees following the COVID pandemic. So if you're reading the news and wondering what guidance you should give your child about choosing their classes for AI future, Upton has one simple message. We currently have no data to inform the rational decision. His answer is to wait 5 or 10 years and then maybe we might know something. Well, can we wait 5 or 10 years? I think, do you know what? This is Justin putting his hat on and thinking cap and going, I entered the tech environment and doing this podcast from studying media, then getting into a bit of IT help desk, then getting into audiovisual, and then doing a whole career path and rounding up to 3. Does any 18-year-old know exactly what they want to do after they finish the state exams? No. So, and if they do, fair play to them, but you know, you change career paths many, many times in your life, and that's coming from the near 43-year-old talking maybe a bit of wisdom. This is the All Things Techie podcast, and let me ask you a question, listeners and viewers. When you close the door of your car and drive off, do you feel that you're finally alone in the car? Cars used to be the ultimate symbol of freedom, a rite of passage and a way to escape the watchful eyes of the world. But today, that beautiful illusion of independence is rapidly disappearing. When you get behind the wheel of a modern vehicle, you are no longer alone. Your vehicle has become a silent spy. Modern cars are literally computers on wheels. They are designed to suck up deeply intimate details about your life to generate massive profits for giant corporations. And I'm not speculating this. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes exploring the data superhighway that is running right under your hood. Let's start off with sheer scale and surveillance. In 2023, Mozilla Foundation analysed the privacy practices of 25 major auto car brands. Their conclusion: cars are the worst product category they've ever reviewed for privacy. You might assume that your car tracks things like satellite navigation or perhaps when you turn the steering wheel or unlock the doors. And yes, it does track if you unbuckle your seatbelt to grab your sunglasses from the back seat. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Your car is littered with sensors in the seats, the dashboard, the engine, and the steering wheel. Sensors in the driver's seat can calculate the exact weight. Interior cameras can watch your face to see if you're picking your nose, crying, or showing specific emotional expressions. Microphones record the songs you sing off key and the private conversations you have on the phone. It gets even more bizarre. Some companies like Kia have actually stated in their privacy policies that they can collect data on your psychological trends, your health, and even your sex life. Now Kia, as spokesperson James Bell, did clarify they don't actually collect data on drivers' sex lives, but they include their policy to cover California's broad definition of sensitive data. Still, the fact that the auto manufacturers reserve the right to legally harvest this level of data is staggering. So, why are they collecting all this? Is it just to improve their GPS or make your heated seats more comfortable? Absolutely not. The data your car collects is a treasure trove, and the biggest buyers of your personal driving habits are data brokers and insurance companies. Let's look at General Motors. The Federal Trade Commission recently penalised General Motors for using a program called Smart Driver to quietly collect and sell customer-driven data to credit bureaus like Experian, Equifax and TransUnion. And they're not the only ones. The telematics data exchange is a multi-billion-dollar industry. A massive data broker called LexisNexis Risk Solutions partners with automakers like Mitsubishi and Kia. If you use an app like Mitsubishi's Road Assist, LexisNexis is logging your hard braking, your nighttime driving, and your highway speeding events. Toyota does something similar in an affiliate called Connected Analytic Services, which legally sells driving data to its insurers. Imagine opening your mail to find your car insurance premium has spiked by 20%. You haven't had an accident, you haven't got a ticket, but your insurance company knows that 3 months ago you braked a little too hard on a curve or your frequent drive late at night. Constant monitoring is turning your daily commute into a never-ending driving test where every small mistake costs you money. If you think this sounds like a dystopian novel, wait until you hear what's coming next. A new federal law is about to dramatically increase the biometric data your car can gather. American automakers will soon be required to install infrared cameras to scan your body language, track eye movements, and detect if you're too tired or too drunk to drive. While the goal of saving lives is noble, there is a massive loophole. There are currently no rules preventing these companies from using its biometric scans to build a comprehensive psychological profile of you. They can interfere your political beliefs, your intelligence, and your daily habits minute by minute, second by second. By the year 2030, an estimated 95% of all cars on the road will be connected to the internet, beaming this data directly to the cloud without you ever knowing. So next time you get behind the wheel, take a look at the dashboard camera. Ask yourself, who is really in the driver's seat? Is it you? Or is it the data brokers profiting from every single mile you drive? Think about that on your commute tomorrow. Now, earlier in the week, I sat down with Michael Dowling, a professor of finance at Dublin City University and CEO and co-founder of Narative. That is an AI app that helps you with your banking and finance. Have a listen. Well, we're starting a series on the All Things TechIE podcast where I'm looking more at startups. And thanks to Peter Allwell from DCU and a couple of the guys from Trinity, they have put me, they've been literally my research agents for the podcast lately, and just give me a load of links of people that are doing stuff. And like, I don't even realise that there's that many startups going on in DCU and Dublin City University and coming out of one. Now, I'm joined by Michael. Michael has Narative Limited. It's a financial AI tool. I'm probably not describing this at all in the proper way, context and design, Michael. So start me off on the journey. How did you get involved in DCU and the startup?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. So I ran an AI center in France for 5 years. Moved to DCU, professor of finance. I published the first study on ChatGPT in finance, which because it had that glory not of being the best study, but of being the first study. It was covered in the Financial Times and went um, uh, traditional media viral at the time, and I got in touch with loads of banks as a result of that, who were reaching out to me as a supposed expert. So
Well, let's not even go down that rabbit hole. It's like 5 years ago. Did anyone even know what the word AI meant? I'm like you were an early bird to the artificial intelligence world.
yeah. I think my entry into early AI was slightly interesting. Was that I left Ireland, went to France, joined a business school there where the dean was obsessed with AI. He asked around the business school. He said, "Who knows anything about AI?" And someone said, "We got a new Irish guy I just joined who I think is doing an online course on AI." And I was actually doing an introduction to Python course.
All
I
right,
sat
very good.
down with the dean and I said, "I'm your AI guy," and kind of went from there. Ordered a load of books from Amazon, skilled up a bit, and it's amazing what you can do when you just pig ignorant and just decide to jump ahead and improve yourself. But that ended up really interesting, like collaborations with INRIA, the main French AI producer, and working out what really how do we take that beautiful traditional AI work and turn it into what's the business application here? What's the use of this? Which obviously ChatGPT has now brought all that to the fore because
And it was so
yeah,
quiet. Like everyone just
yeah.
went overnight going, what is this new tool that just answers questions straight away in seconds? That was really where everyone just went, wow, hold on a minute.
It's amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like December 2022 or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember like boring my extended family over Christmas dinner about it. Like just going, just gives you an answer. It's amazing.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So because they didn't listen to me, I feel that's why I sat down into January and wrote that research paper. Just to be able to
At least someone might read it.
yeah. Someone please listen to me. So anyway, went with a whole thing on after this because on the back of that, I got invited into the Irish government to present on AI, and one of the government departments, I sent in a little video of showing how you can turn like an 80-page document into a one-page policy brief. One of the government departments reached back and said, we keep getting presentations from like all these professional services firms going, "Oh, AI is amazing, but they haven't built anything. You seem to have built something. Could we buy it from you?" And a bit like running the AI center back in the day, I said yes, and then hired loads of people, loads of students from DCU Computer Science, and
Right.
we built up a platform that was the first generative AI platform deployed in the Irish government. It's now we made it then available to the Irish government as an open source government AI solution at the end. And yeah, so then sorry, just I'm so distracted.
No, no, this
I'll
is
bring
it.
it
This
up
is
to today.
fascinating. Yeah.
So on the back of that, then got 500,000 funding from Enterprise Ireland, which is funding for professors to turn research ideas into products.
Right.
And that's Narative. So
But
So yeah.
the question that must come in there, Michael, is like you sell this to the Irish government, right? After they've seen a tool like this, and I know it's maybe strike while the iron is hot, but you said, and the key words there, open source. The security implications come into play there. Was anyone ringing the alarm bell, going, security, security? It's open source and it's AI, or were they even were they?
We had, I'd say, about 80% of the testing was around security and 20% around
I
the
would
AI
imagine
part, to
so.
be
Yes,
honest.
yes,
Yeah. It's kind of like it's I feel we got such an education in that whole process in terms of the pen testing, the DPIA, the data protection. It's kind of, it stood us in such strength actually when we went, essentially we went to what's called in the startup world, you might be familiar with it, the founder product fit.
yes,
That
right.
Why would a professor of finance be developing a government AI platform? It doesn't have a fit between the founder and and the founder and
The
and
customer even, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So so that was essentially then the decision there, and it's a, yeah, I guess you often see a lot of startups fall by the wayside because they're really trying to push against a wave of, why am I doing this thing? You know,
yeah,
why am I the best person? And it's like, it's obvious, I feel, and obviously I would say that, but it's obvious why I'm a good fit for what we do, which is banking hyper personalization, because I have a PhD in behavioral finance and I've done all this AI stuff, and let's blend them together and let's make finance better for people, for businesses.
yeah.
And I guess unless you have that consistency of story, then I think you're always
So, how did you manage with the time of being a lecturer and teaching in DCU, doing this startup company? Like, how many team members did you have to hire to get this really off the ground and running?
It was so this is referring to Narative.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
so
this brings us into narrative, is it? Or this is the
yeah, well, so the, like, the nature of the scheme from Enterprise Ireland, it's a very smart
yes.
scheme. It buys out loads of your teaching. So
Okay, okay.
that's the glory. That's the glory of that. We got some nice offices in DCU Innovate. I think you mentioned
Yes,
Peter
very
Olweb
nice office.
at the
Yes.
beginning. Yeah, it's actually, I think we ended up upgrading from the business school, to be honest. So although the business school has improved itself since. So yeah, so that's I think that's it's a nice space, because it's a nice idea, because you have, like, the youth of today being educated by professors who who are who need to be passing on what's relevant information now. So,
Yes.
like, I was doing, like,
It's not, in other words, it's not a textbook exercise anymore,
that,
Michael.
that's that's yeah, I think that's it, it's like and it's so much more, it's so powerful to be able to, like, go into a classroom and conceptualize, like, what does this thing that we're doing today, what does it mean? And
Yes.
you more innately know what it means from the point of view
But
of its
it's
student.
getting away from the
Yeah.
terminology. Like, and my prime example of that, Michael, is like during
Mm,
COVID, I decided I think I'll do a project management course.
mm,
And I was nearly bored to tears on the terminology of project management. And then when it came to writing assignments, it's like, I can write this assignment, but I don't know the terminology in its full of all the different acronyms of project management. It's like,
yeah.
but I know how to do a project,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Is Narative is we tell the story behind your bank numbers.
Nice.
So rather, most people are unfamiliar looking at a big log into your bank app. You see a big list of transactions. What does it mean? What does it mean for the story of the life
It
that you
means that I'm broke, Michael.
well, yes, but then there's the why am I broke,
Yes.
and maybe it's because, well, no, I was going to make something about public sector.
Too many copies in DCU. That's my answer
Too
there.
many, yes. Yeah.
It starts by taking in open banking data of the small business, builds up a persona and a profile of the small business, and then uses this profile to provide valuable information to the small business. Let me just log in here. So we have 3 parts to the Narative platform. There's a coach for the owner's day-to-day guidance. There's a money tab, which gives valuable quick win insights on how the small business is managing their money. And then there's a growth tab that gives growth ideas that transform the business over time. Coach is what greets the small business owner when they log in. There's a quick summary of the key actions for the day, and this is updated every morning. And then, of course, you can ask anything that would be useful. We can have a quick look here. You see that we can get useful insights that the owner might not be aware of. They could be looking at thousands of transaction entries per month, and there's valuable insights potentially there, but hard to easily see. So this could include a lot of legacy decisions, such as platform subscriptions like Shopify, etc., that might not actually be delivering value anymore. When we look at the Money tab, we get the ability to deep dive on money insights. We have at the top the main categories of interest. How's our cash doing? What does our income look like and spending? And each of these contains a breakdown of what's happening in that category, as well as useful follow-on insights. For any of these tabs, of course, you can always ask the coach for more info. So it's always a conversational insight. The priority actions that are available to the small business are then shown here, which are quick wins where the business can be step-by-step guided towards gaining financial advantage. For example, negotiating better card fees. The structure is similar in all these guidances.
So Narative is focused on telling small businesses the story of their business, and in a twee sense, what are the next chapters that they can write? If you continue the narrative, analogy, and it's like there's a whole thing about small businesses, and I went out and I left DCU to travel the country, and I sent emails to all the chambers of commerce and said, can I come and give your small businesses a talk on how AI can help their business and then learn from them? And it was this was all last year, and it was a beautiful year. It's just the amount of amazing conversations
and networking that you can do on those things that you don't get inside your normal day to day. Like if you're going to take this, you have to take it on the road. Yeah,
and it's like just really kind of it just says so many fond memories of it. Just like the conversations had, and I just really kind of understanding the pain being lived. Really, there's in Ireland there's this, and it's across Europe, but SME business owners are kind of at the retirement age on average. And traditionally, you pass it on to your son or daughter, but they're up in Dublin doing their highfalutin digital whatever. And they don't want to come back. And
the way I look at it is like I have my own little business with the podcast and my technology end of things, right? And lucky enough, my wife is an accountant by trade. I might be good on the business front of like trying to keep things on my small little business going with the podcast and whatever. Ask me about finance, I throw it in the direction of my wife. So I'd say the nearest thing before I learned about your company was, okay, you have things like the AIB app where you can make little areas of the AIB app to show that you spent so much money on groceries, you spend so much money on software. Revolut does something similar.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on those examples, how does your company fit into the AI and the
Yeah.
algorithms and what it's doing?
Perfect. No, that's a great way of me to tell you what we do. Yeah. So we start with your bank transactions. We have an AI model, a traditional AI model that builds the story of what your business is based on your bank transactions, and then we use that to have a mentor style conversation with you. So like, you can show things like categories, whatever, but it's like it's still the same. It's just numbers in a different form.
Right.
We use words to tell
Mhm.
you that story. Yeah. And like so like in we have two main aims, which is to improve your financial health, your financial comfort, and to help you grow. So financial health is things like say if we take you for example, that you'll have all types of subscriptions as part of the nature of the business, and so we pop up like little mini surveys in app.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's like looks like at the moment you're spending 150 a month on an e-commerce solution. It feels like there's some solutions that are cheaper. Let me ask you a few questions just to see if they actually fit you. So
Right.
so it's a conversation like and one of the examples I've kind of said before in retail is, at the moment I spend 75 a month on Westwood Gym. And to understand whether Westwood Gym is a good idea for me, you can't just go, oh, there's Anytime Fitness is €30 a month, so therefore you're wasting money. It's about the value you're getting from it.
Yes.
And so it's
Yes.
it's a conversation that's personal to you. And this is something you can't just do with numbers, but with the power of an AI driven solution. This is now where you can have a conversation and actually unearth actually valuable savings. So that's financial health. Growth is a different thing. Growth is about what are the paths for growth for you as a business based on your financial projections, what we know about your business, and the conversations you've had. So if you're a small clothing retailer in the west of Ireland, what's
Yes.
relevant to you is what are other clothing retailers doing in that town you're in? What are
Mhm.
emerging trends in Dublin and London? What
Yes.
are what are events that are coming up that you can piggyback on, for example?
So
And
it's the
highlight.
AI scanning the internet and going, oh
Yeah,
wait, well this is okay, yes. Yeah.
yeah. So it's and yeah, within all
The realms of
we determine what it can scan. It's not just scanning the entire internet. So we have guardrails around
so
exactly what
it,
we
it
look at.
the whole narrative of it is it's constantly looking at your spends, looking at your growths, and it's not just here's a one document that you might get with a financial advisor every 5 6 months where like for example there's financial advisors as I know on the public sector end of things telling me Justin you need to be putting more money into your ABCs here
I was
to
about to say ABCs. Yeah,
yeah
that's the big thing.
oh yeah well look I'm trying to crush my ABCs for an early retirement hopefully I can always
Just need to
wish
work out what an ABC is, and then we're
yes
good.
yeah exactly but like and going on that right
Yeah.
like I found out what ABCs about advanced voluntary contributions. There we go for the acronym for all our listeners and viewers there. But I guess training the AI was important of going, let's dumbify this for a person that has no financial experience whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it's often when you look at a small business owner and say like we put you in that category, like it's it's you founded the small business because you're passionate about the thing you're doing.
Absolutely, and
Money is
a
almost,
lot of business started up that way. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and it's like you like if you're passionate about money, you become a finance person, like, or something like that,
hmm
and it's like money is almost kind of, it's the glue, it's the marker that you're making some of the right choices, but it's not the passion, and it's not nearly always the expertise. And so the big thing that's missing in modern banking is it's showing people the money, the transactions, the raw stuff. It's not speaking to the real essence of what the small business owner wants, which
hmm
is, what does this tell me about my business?
yeah,
Apart from the superficial, do I have much money? It's like, yeah, yeah. And it's a bit like, there's so many trends that you can catch early sign of, like an executive health check, where they go, well, you got a little marker here you want to keep track of, and
yeah.
it's just because people
And
are
the
walking
high
around like,
risk and low risk, all this
that's
terminology that comes into play when especially when you're talking about pensions and stuff like that. Oh well, you're young, Justin, so we're going to
yeah,
stick you on high risk for the next 10 years or so. When you're like, going, okay, if you say so. Now,
yeah,
like, and on that, if you say so, and Michael, I am playing devil's advocate here, right? Do you ever worry that like your AI will do predictions that one of your customers can come back and go, well, I lost money and my businesses are doing well but I went with the advice of the AI algorithm, or
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry, that's not a yes that I worry about. Well, no, sorry, yes, I clearly worry about it.
yeah,
But it's yeah. So since January, then so we've been in the Central Bank of Ireland regulatory sandbox, really about understanding that that space. So the space that we're in is not giving advice. Advice in
okay,
finance
and that's clear to point
is,
out.
is
Yeah,
regulated. Advice is saying something like you should take out this particular pension thing.
yes,
We're in the space of guidance, and it's not just about substituting the word advice for guidance. It's the way in which our model delivers words. It's like it's trained to only build on the small businesses actual data, and to show them the trace back of exactly why a recommendation was arrived at. It
okay,
always has a risks section, and it never presents prescriptive um prescriptive outcomes. It's like that,
okay,
this is the outcome. It's giving ranges of options, and so it's really like our mindset is that what we are creating is a mentor, and a good mentor is one that asks you the right questions that you can make the right decisions. A good mentor in life as well. Like, a bad
yeah,
mentor is someone who sits you down and goes, "You need to do this. You need to do this." That's yeah. It's about
yes,
bringing the
because a
person.
lot of these financial advisors, and
Mm,
no disrespect to them, but like they will take your pay slips, they will take your expenditures and your incomes and just do up their calculations and crunch numbers and go, okay, Justin, you need to be putting more money into this pot. And you don't really get the whys, or
yeah,
what the end result will be. Well, you might see the end result predictability, but as you say, you're not in the end of predictability. You're trying to help the business flourish by looking at different areas of their spends and which ways they can create income as well.
that's it. Yeah, I mean, like from a bank's perspective, a small business, yeah, has the same demands as a large business, but without the income. And it's the same with yourself, with what you're saying with financial advisors, that it's you need to have. I think I remember being at a conference with financial advisors before, and they said, "Look, we can't really look at your numbers unless you have at least 2 million of free assets,
Right.
excluding your property.
Right.
And so anything below that, it's perfunctory. It's fill it into a spreadsheet. So, I mean, I think some of the promise of AI done right, and this is a journey. Like, we're
Yes.
not necessarily we're not at that point yet, but AI done right is it can democratize that access to great knowledge, and you see, like, what do rich people spend their how do they manage their money? And it's not through an app. It's they've
No.
got a personal concierge banker who has a
And
discussion with them.
and on that, Michael,
Narative.
like, so
Yeah.
with your company, like, how often should one of your customers be logging into your software and looking at this type of approach? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it daily?
Yeah, so we sit within the business bank app.
Okay.
We're an extra tab called Coach. And it's so the small business owners log into their bank app 5 to 6 to 7 times a week on average. Like, it's the main repetitive action, which shows some of the worry that exists behind money. So it's like, our sense is, if we're doing our job right, is that eventually that coach interaction, that separate tab with the monitoring of the financial health, telling you the story of your business, showing you growth possibilities and how to implement them, that this becomes your dominant banking experience.
Now,
Yeah.
with that banking experience, okay, so explain to me, if you're a new business and you want to go down and use Narative is almost, Narative.
Yeah. When I think I feel
It's a,
I'm actually questioning it, because I call it narrative, but you're
Narative.
saying narrative, and as you're saying, I go, maybe it is narrative. but
But Narative, okay, yeah.
so,
Yeah,
but
but so your small business starting off, you decide to use this app. Do you have to make contact with your own bank, whether it be AIB, Permanent TSB, whatever, or how does it sit with your bank account?
Yeah, so so it'll be a separate consent within the bank app. We
Okay.
work with one of the big Irish banks in specific, that's going into a large pilot stage next. So,
Oh, super.
we're a pre-seed company, so we've just raised our round, to really go deep into this. We raised around 1.5 million. So we work with one Irish bank in particular, but a lot of our focus is on overseas. I suppose it's the nature of the glory of Irish tech, is that from the moment you're born, you're looking overseas, because we're such a small country. So in due course, and this sounds a bit
Oh, yeah, but
wishy-washy, but in due course, when the pilot comes back, which will be across probably hundreds of small businesses across Ireland, that's when it gets rolled out, because obviously, as you've highlighted, there's just a lot of risk events here.
yes, yes.
We're moving very old, justifiably risk-averse financial institutions, giving them a glimpse of the future, but they have to, and we would expect them to move very carefully. Now, we have previously done a pilot in the Irish market, as well, which had very, very positive outcomes.
Yeah, so at the moment it's with another pilot, an Irish bank, but like this has potential growth to go across Europe and even further afield with other banks. Like it's not contracted assigned to just one specific bank. You see growth in this in the future to all banks.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we just agreed a pilot with a huge UK small business small business financial services firm, and with we're looks like we're going to be getting a pilot with a Dutch bank as well.
Oh, super.
So yeah, we just need to learn Dutch.
If only there was an AI that could do that.
Hopefully.
But and make it work as well. But with that and the customer, so explain how the model works with the cost for a customer. Is it brought in with their bank, or do they subscribe to a subscription model of your app, or how does that work?
There's no cost to the end customer, to the
Okay.
small business. So the way it works is it works like the traditional relationship manager in a bank. So it used to be that the traditional relationship manager, like say when my mom ran her bakery in the west of Ireland, when she wanted guidance, she went to the local bank manager.
Yeah.
And as part of the local bank managers being at the time the most educated person in the town / village, gave guidance based on their experience, and as part of that, when the time was ready, they said, "Here's lending, etc., that can help you on that journey." So that was a relationship manager. So we work on a relationship manager approach as well, that we can highlight at the right time bank financial products, and this is one of the so if, like, for example, if somebody is talking about improving the energy efficiency of their refrigeration in their shop because the Straits of Hormuz are blocked and
Right.
they need to spend less, well, there's an opportunity there, like a traditional relationship manager, to go, well, actually, there's a green loan that can help with that specific thing because you'd be eligible. So
Okay.
that's the
But that's fantastic for the end user and the small business to be able to go, hey, this is a free add-on to my banking. Why wouldn't I sign up and start using this and get the additional support?
I think so. I think so. No, I will draw on my academic experience because I like something we're like hugely passionate about, and this is why I was looking at my face in the screen to see did I look passionate, but I'm not sure I do.
You are coming across as passionate, don't worry.
But something we are hugely passionate about is the idea of the doing the right thing, which is like, why we're in the central bank sandbox, and trying to, and I think there are things to work out. Like I think there are things like so the way we have conceived things at the moment is that any conversation with the coach only belongs to the small business and us. It's not visible by the bank, for example.
Right.
And so that's about creating a trust element, where a small business can, like with a mentor, can be
Well, this is another thing. If they're a small
Yeah.
business and they want to change bank, for example, can they, like, okay, this might be a question like another catch-22 situation.
Yeah.
If I'm a small business, I like this app, but I find that the interest rate, let's say, for example, is better with another bank. Can I take all my material and go to the other bank, or?
So I think this like it's kind of it's an interesting question, actually, to be like as in, it's actually, if I'm able to answer it now, it would be my first time thinking about it, which actually shows actually some of the
I'm good. I ask the devil's
done.
advocate question sometimes, Michael.
I know, yeah.
Make note to fix that later on. Yeah.
Yeah, to do. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it takes a long time to build trust, and it only takes a moment to break trust, and
Oh,
and that's
absolutely.
in everything.
100%. Yes.
And I think that needs to be like the core design philosophy.
Mm.
So exactly what that looks like in that specific situation, I don't know, but I think there needs to be, and I think it's something much more so with, like, that phrase, it takes a long time to build trust and a second to break it, applies to people. I think it's like, what
Yes.
you know, kids and things as they're growing up, so they're upstanding citizens. But I think it's even more so for AI. That
Yes.
it's like I
But
remember
do you know what it is?
yeah.
Like, it is finding that balance, and like I can take examples of other. Even I'll use travel as my example. I won't name the airline. If people listen to previous podcast episodes, they will figure out what airline I'm talking about. But it's the customer service model of going, yes, AI can be a great tool. Yes, you can go on to, if you're trying to get support, whether it be technology, booking a flight or whatever, or you've had problems with your baggage or so forth. You like to be able to sometimes get on a chat bot and go, okay, you still haven't answered my question, but I'd like to talk to a human being now.
Yeah.
So it's like that when you come to Narative, to be able to go, okay, well, here's what we've told you, but you might still want to go back to the bank and go, right. Well, you still have to have that
Yeah.
personal touch, Michael, because
No.
they still have to take out a loan, for example, or they
Yeah,
still
yeah,
need
yeah.
to. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. And actually it's like one of the one of the core conceptions behind this product is that it's really like it would be a more efficient router to quality human conversations.
Yes.
So it's like at no point is the narrative coach selling you a financial product.
Well,
That's not that's
that's
not
important.
in the design or in what we want to do. But it's
Mhm.
like, if someone, like, coming back to that A-rated refrigeration, eligibility for a green loan, you can go, well, I'd set you up in a conversation with that
Yes.
and kind of arrange that meeting. And so, like, it's always going to a regulated human where you can have a quality conversation. But to a decent extent, it also makes sure that there are, like, my kind of my sense is that banks have huge amounts of people who are available to have these conversations, but not necessarily the right routing,
Yes.
the right
Yes.
routing processes to get to the right person. Like, if you wanted, for example, you're setting up a store with all types of things that people can buy, and for whatever reason you wanted to, like, set up some sort of payment scheme and you wanted to ring a bank, there's a great person in a bank who can tell you all about that. But it's often like there's no
But like,
obvious route to get
but
to them, like, yeah,
and with that, usually it is trying to schedule to meet this right person that's going
yeah,
to give you this information and advice. I use the advice word generically, but
yeah.
you have to try and meet with these people, arrange a schedule. Like, the bonus of your app is the fact that you can do this at any time. You don't have to put on the suit and tie approach. You can start
Yeah.
answering the questions on the app and get a comprehensive answer and an accurate answer to things.
I think so, and I think it's that sense that, like, I guess, like, the core thing we built, and this was part of that kind of Enterprise Ireland commercialization fund. We spent 18 months building a new type of AI model to be able to do this. It's
Mhm.
actually, it's like classic AI, classic generative AI, ChatGPT, for example, is a bit like the grandmother, the great aunt, God love her, who is still giving you Thomas the Tank Engine socks at the age of 40, because once when you were
Yes,
7,
you
he's like,
like
"Oh,
them.
love Thomas the
You,
Tank Engine,
yeah, yeah,
love it."
yeah, yeah.
And it's like I still have with ChatGPT, it's like we had some stupid name for this company before, called Finogue. Finogue being
And
like
and that sort
opening
of
a
goes
window or something.
through the
Irish
whole
word.
thing, Michael, of the machine learning,
Yeah,
and like if it is still reading on the past, and like you can see that whether it's Google
yeah,
Gemini, whether you use ChatGPT, it's
yeah.
going, so yeah, it's trying to break away from that model, as you say,
It's
of
almost
like
dumb memory. Yeah, it
yeah,
could, like ChatGPT. Like when I go in and go on, like it's all super enthusiastic. Goes, yeah, let's work in Finogue, and it's like, yeah,
no,
it's like
yeah,
it's kind of yeah, a dumb memory.
yes,
It's kind of it, and every time you see that, it breaks trust.
yes,
Because you go, well, actually, you don't really know what me because I've told you loads of times that it's actually narrative, and it's just you've made a memory point 2 years ago and you haven't updated it like
yes,
Thomas the Tank Engine socks, and so how do you give meaningful advice to a small business owner today? Like, what's the decision they want to know today? And
mhm.
that's about extrapolating recent trends, recent conversations small business owners had, recent news. It's about timelines. It's about having a whole conception of what the small business is and
And
all of
that's where
that.
that AI model has to be constantly developed
Yeah,
in especially in the realm of what you're doing with finance.
yeah.
It's so important that you have the team constantly making sure that this stuff is accurate.
You're right. Yeah, and so yeah, so the advantage of the Enterprise Ireland commercialization fund was that kind of it funds deep research, deep product research. Now that has its downsides as well. You're spending 18 months maybe without selling anything, which is
Yes.
not great.
Yeah.
um, uh, yeah, but you have all these projects that come to the end after 18 months go, wait, we actually have to sell this to
It
somebody.
just sounds like doing a normal PhD. It's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
when
yeah.
will this ever end? Yes, yes.
No, yeah, but but there are advantages in terms of the depth of what you develop. Well, like say, yeah, I mentioned about the investors in our new round. It's like they're like some of the investors are like AI deep tech
Mhm.
venture capitalists, for example. Like so who, and it's kind of, or we were kind of chasing them because they do like due diligence on the quality of like is it novel AI or is it a wrapper as they sometimes call it where you just it's really just ChatGPT under the hood like
Yeah.
so yeah, and I think that's important because if you're just a wrapper, it'll all just sound the same anyway. It'll all
Yes.
just be the same experience, and people recognize this is
Oh, of course they do. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You can see some of the AI tools that's out there, and even from my time being over in Vegas at CES as well, you can see
yeah,
that like see little startup companies and just going, that's definitely a layer above ChatGPT or something like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
doing these type of things, even if it's talk back and audio type of version and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
transcription. It's like
It's
you
yeah,
you just go, and like what have you done new here?
yeah,
If people want to find out more about Narative, where do they go? Like, what's the best approach of sending people your way to find out more about the
yeah.
fund?
Because thank you. So well, we have a website, narrativebanking.com. So but yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Love having conversations. And so I'm just gonna X this from my screen. So yeah, no, that'd be amazing. It's great. It's great to have conversations. It's great to receive feedback. It's great to work out what are missing parts, what are
It's great
future
to hear
parts.
that like you have a big roadmap ahead on this, Michael.
And
Like you,
we're excited about it. Yeah.
Well, my thanks to Michael for joining me on the All Things Techie podcast. And I do enjoy talking to startup tech companies. You know I do. And I hope you enjoy listening to and viewing the interviews as well. That's all we have time for episode 147 of the All Things Techie podcast. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. Tell your friends. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram at Sir Justin Dawson. From me, and thank you for listening, thank you for viewing, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.